Rules. I never understood them. I always saw them as chains binding me down, holding me back against what I really want to do. You're probably thinking, that's why you're sitting in that jail cell now, for breaking the rules. And you're right, but you're also wrong. Because unlike most who broke the rules or committed a crime out of passion, money, lust, or hate, I did it because it was fun. You see, I'm what you call a psychopath. What's a psychopath, you may ask? Psychologists have explained it to me 1,000 times. Lack of empathy, superficial charm, manipulation, narcissism, high intelligence. I just laugh. So, an average day then, I tell them. All right, why don't we go back to the day this part of my life began? Listen close. It was 9:30 when I entered the office that morning in a suit that cost more than some people's cars. I was vice president for one of the biggest companies in the country. In a couple more years, I'd have been at the top. But something was different. Employees weren't at their desks, the phones were left ringing, and something was going on in the middle of the office. And then I heard it. The crying. They looked at me, the familiar mix of fear, admiration, and respect in their eyes. But today it was tainted with a certain grief. They stepped aside, letting me see. It was the pretty blonde from accounting. She was collapsed on the floor in another woman's arms, with her phone lying next to her. "She's still having trouble coping with her loss, sir," my secretary whispered. "It's been 3 days, and she's been unable to sleep." "Is that so?" I answered, barely a hint of emotion. I stared at this woman, moaning and crying and gasping in her own tears, and the crowd that formed around her, every single one of them, pathetic, encouraging this pathetic show. Pain. What was pain? 7.5 billion beating hearts on this planet, and you let yourself cry for a single one? This is what separated me from them, from all of them. Why I'd always be better. You see, I don't let emotions get in the way of what I'm doing. But I played their little game. "Order her flowers," I said to my secretary, loud enough for everyone to hear. I walked to the woman, bent down, raised her chin, and held her hand, letting her eyes meet mine. Beautiful. So beautiful, so naive. "I'm so sorry for your loss. Why don't you take a month off? Paid. Let yourself breathe." She wrapped her arms around my neck, her damn spit, snot, and tears soaking into my suit. "Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you." The crowd around me stirred, muttering and speaking of my generosity. "He's so sweet. He's so generous. He's so handsome." Their eyes flashed, some even with affection and lust. I made notes of those worth my time, but already I was thinking, perhaps this blonde would need company tonight. How easy it would be. I spent the rest of the day in a board meeting, too long, too pointless. They didn't understand my plans, moving operations overseas to cut costs. Why? They were small and ambitionless. They didn't see our growth, our potential. They never did. Without me, none of them would have had a job. But by the end of the day, they were all eating out of my hand. The idiots were convinced. It was as good a day as it could have been, being surrounded by all these useless people, until the police kicked in the door, guns drawn. Everyone raised their hands. Some screamed. Me? I just listened. Listened as they called my name, followed by, "You're under arrest for the murder of Mr. What was it? No, I don't remember his name, but I remember his face. I remember the way he choked in my hands, how he begged for his life. I remember the moment when that last sliver of life clicked out of his body. It was fun. The adrenaline, the excitement, the mystery. I felt alive, like I was king. Why did I kill him? Maybe I thought someone that fat and stupid didn't deserve a wife as pretty as the blonde from accounting. Maybe I hated his face, his clothes, his cheap car. Or maybe I was just bored. Bored, impulsive, and slightly reckless, with a single fingerprint revealing my identity. Do I regret it? Nah, I was born this way. 7.4 billion people living on this planet. 1% are psychopaths. Out of every 100 people you'll ever meet, one will be like me, a psychopath. We don't all kill, and in fact, I didn't have to. But in a cat and mouse world, we're always the cat. Some lie, some manipulate, some rob, some con, and some hurt. Hurt more than they'll ever realize, because there's one thing we all share in common deep inside. You see, none of us really feel. And believe me, I've met them all. And so have you. But 5 years later, hey, none of it matters anymore. You'd think they wouldn't release a psychopath so soon, but with power and money, hey, anything's possible. Maybe I should go see how she's doing.